Now, Muslim Brotherhood President Mohamed Morsi gone this week, tossed out. The army came in, tossed him out, removed him from power, and removed the Muslim Brotherhood from power. According to General Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, I hope I'm saying that right, he gave a speech to Egypt, and he basically in the speech he had said that Ali Mansour, Chief Justice of the Supreme Constitutional Court, would become the new interim president until the new elections are held. So already we've got a roadmap to democracy, to elections, once again in Egypt. So that's good news. I like to see that. Now, El-Sisi said that the military was forced to act because Morsi did not meet the demands of the masses of the people. Now, we did some reports earlier this week, and the fact that they could not keep the lights on. There were massive power failures in Egypt during the summer months. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. Not only that, but you had long fuel lines and just massive protests over all these things. The economy still has not recovered. So that was another major sticking point with Morsi's rule, and the fact that Mohamed Morsi had attempted to take more power by rewriting the constitution to basically help the Islamist Muslim Brotherhood Party continue to keep control. Now, obviously, the Islamist constitution was suspended, according to the military, and they say a panel of experts and representatives of all political movements will consider amendments. Now, what do you guys think? Do you think that they're actually going to try and include everybody in the government?
Well, that depends on a lot of things. No, but short answer, no.
So you're a little bit more pessimistic when it comes to what's going to happen in Egypt.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be a fair fight.
Well, already it's looking pretty... There's a lot of turmoil going on. There's a lot of violence going on, actually. According to the recent reports that I have, 39 people have been killed since last Sunday. And not only that, but pro-Morsi supporters have been demonstrating and clashing with the military and anti-Morsi demonstrators. And then you had three pro-Morsi demonstrators were killed when they attempted to march on the barracks where Morsi is being held. So the situation in Egypt is not great. What do you expect with the president being toppled by the military?
I mean, it's an interesting case because when Egypt had their first revolution, when they got rid of Mubarak, like the thing that I noticed and the reason I was pessimistic from then was that the military was still in power. And at the time I said that Egypt is essentially going to be Pakistan without nuclear weapons. It's going to be a
military rule. You're right.
Yeah, with pointless elections that are for the people. And at the same time, I don't like Morsi, but at the same time, that's essentially what happened. The military showed him that they were in charge. So no matter what government or what elections they have, they're going to be the country is going to be run by a foreign financed military, a military financed by the United States government. So overall, I mean, I think it's good. Revolutions are awesome. They threw off a president that, a lot of the people, they had a record protest of 14 million people was reported. So they threw off the president. So that's good. But I think the future for Egypt is kind of in trouble because the military is not accountable to the people because the military is not accountable to the government. The military runs the show, and that's the way it's going to stay, no matter which elections they have and no matter what happens, in my opinion.
I'd like to be a little bit more optimistic to see that a more, centrist government would be, elected. But, I mean, you make some great points. And actually, some of the recent news that came out today is that there's a dispute over who's going to take over as the interim president. Now, they had Mohammed al-Baradei, which was, a liberal, so-called liberal. He's one of those people who were going to accept austerity. So in my mind, I don't really see that as liberal because austerity is not a liberal thing whatsoever, right? So, but the Islamist parties, the Noor party, I believe, the second largest Islamist party in Egypt, they won't accept al-Baradei. They said, nope, not going to happen, not doing it. So that's kind of still up in the air. But as far as the Muslim Brotherhood goes, now police have rounded up some of these Islamists and warned against excessive protest that could lead to civil unrest. Now, I don't know about you, but I think that we've had more than enough civil unrest in Egypt. So their point is kind of moot. With 14 million people that have been out in the streets, that's a hell of a protest.
But that's what happened the last time. They had a major protest. They unseated the government, and the Egyptian military banned protests because they were like, all right, it's over. The president's gone. So immediately the first thing they did when they got rid of Mubarak was ban protests. So now they're like leaning into the same type of thing. They're like, okay, we got rid of this guy. They're like, now all of you go home while we figure it out.
Right. The Egyptian people seem to be regretting right now the direction that they went when they got Mubarak out of office in the first place. I was surprised and disappointed that they went in a more extremist, religiously based direction. And now a lot of the people of the country are regretting it severely. But now, you know, the power is so skewed that I don't know if they have the ability to bring it back to a moderate place and go into a more liberal direction anytime soon.
It kind of makes you think about what's going on here at home. You know, you've got a lot of really hardline Christian, seemingly fundamentalists that are in that are this a major part of the Republican Party that have been trying to pull our country over to the right. And I'm pretty sure that they want to install their own sort of version of Sharia here on America, Christian right. So,
but there's another issue because a lot of people are upset that they unseated a democratically elected official in such a way. But like to give you an idea how bad Morsi was, he actually did an Obama move. Like you know how Obama's prosecuted more people under the Espionage Act than all other presidents combined?
Yeah.
Well, Morsi's prosecuted more people for criticizing the president in his like 1 year as president than Mubarak ever did, and that's insane. Mubarak was president for I think over 30 years.
And you know they definitely went after Egypt's Jon Stewart essentially. Right. I don't remember his name, but he's
I remember
like
that.
Jon Stewart, and they have been going after him for criticizing the government. He's doing satire.
Right.
So that's it. So you make a great point. I think that's an excellent point. So what do you think? I mean, according to the Muslim Brotherhood, they say military coup. Quote, for the sake of Egypt and for historical accuracy, let's call what is happening by its real name, military coup. You guys agree? Or was it the will of the people or a coup? I mean, it's kind of a difficult question.
I think it was a muddled mix of both. I think there were people that wanted to make a change for the good, but I think it was mixed in with this sort of militarization.
Well, I mean, the last time that they did this with Mubarak, when they actually had elections, they did actually follow through and say, okay, we're putting elections up, writing a new constitution, then we're going to give it over to the civilian government. So if they, I guess I'm a little bit more optimistic that they're going to do the same thing.
I don't think I could really call it a coup or a military coup because to me the military just said, yeah, we're actually the ones in charge. Like that is still the fact. It's what I believe when Mubarak went down. I forgot what the actual Egyptian words for it, but there was a popular saying when Mubarak left that it's Mubarak without Mubarak. That basically the military is running the show the same way, and that's what the military showed. Is it doesn't really matter which civilian government you put in, they're going to be Pakistan without nuclear weapons. The military is going to be in charge. So I don't think it's a coup because the military didn't take power; they actually had power. I think they pulled the wool over. They removed the wool from the Egyptian people's eyes.
Fair
Or
point.
from Morsi's eyes, because Morsi thought he was good, but apparently he didn't realize how it was going to work.
Yeah, Morsi. I mean, Morsi was pretty defiant up until he got removed. He's like, no, no, I'm the legitimate president. You know, I can fix this. And the military just said, yeah, no, you had your shot.
The military, he basically said, I dare the military to take us out. And the military, like my 8-year-old self,
We're like, okay.
took up that dare.
We're like, oh, okay, you want to challenge me? Challenge accepted. That's essentially what happened. So that's what's going on in Egypt. Look, I want to be optimistic about this, but I mean, Sean brings up some good points. This is military rule, and like I said, I hope they fix it. And I hope they get to an actual democracy. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens.